H.P. Lovecraft said that the oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. And the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. Have you ever wondered how we scoff at the mention of horror, or black magic, or possession, be it in reality or even in a movie? It's strange how we believe in God, but not in the dead. We believe in good, but not evil. We believe in the angel, but not the demon. We believe in light, but not in dark. And by believing that without the dark, there cannot be light, we only underestimate the dark. For the dark doesn't need the light. And the dead don't need a reason. And so, once upon a time, the gas station was from another era. It was easy to see. One could imagine the old Buicks and Chevrolets guzzling gas from those archaic feeders. The wooden sign that announced that this was the last gas station for another 60 kilometers swung on its old chains, making an eerie noise. Jessie would have never made this trip had the call not come from the old age home, informing her with scant sensitivity that her mother had a stroke. Galveston was a small town in the middle of the Swedish nowhere. Crossing the forest at night had always deterred travelers, but Jessie had no choice. She loved her mother and wouldn't let her go till she had been given the one final shot with the best medical treatment available.
Now you are a brave young woman, aren't you? The words came forth from an haggard gas station keeper.
His clothes needed to be laundered, and then laundered some more.
He needed a dentist to save his decaying teeth, though they looked like they were past saving.
Jessie decided to ignore the old man's barb and asked for a Lexus SUV to be topped up. The man nodded and went for the gas tank of the car.
You do know that no one has survived a drive through these woods on a full moon night.
The old man had an evil grin to go with his poser.
I don't believe in hauntings and such, Jessie responded dismissively.
The old man laughed, shaking his head.
Let's hope you last longer than the fuel does, he grunted, enigmatic as the night.
Jessie settled her bill in cash. The gas station did not have a credit card machine. She drove out, her mind filled with the dread that silly gas station man had put into her head. Perish the thought, Jessie, she reprimanded herself. Ghosts do not exist. The headlights cast a bright yellow glow on the road, killing the darkness everywhere the car turned. The tall trees with their mangled branches seemed alive, as if they could move their branches like limbs and grab an innocent traveler. Jessie drove on, the mantra of perish the thought on loop in her mind. Then she saw her, the gypsy woman, waiting on the side of the road. She had dirty, long red hair, matted and uncombed. Silver jewelry
that could shame a vampire seeker. A long skirt with infinite gathers, a strange kind of design on it, and an odd blouse. The woman signaled with a thumb, asking for a ride. Jessie was in two minds. A companion through the forest could be a good idea. But on the other hand, could you trust a stranger? Jessie slowed the car down, if only to refuse politely. Where you headed to? The gypsy woman inquired. Galveston, but I don't think I could take... Jessie couldn't finish what she was saying. She glanced at the feet of the gypsy woman and found that they were the other way around. Her heels were where her toes should be, and her toes were her heels. Jessie let out a muffled scream and stepped on the gas. The gypsy woman began to run with Jessie's car. Where you headed to? She asked in the same tone and manner. Her hand on Jessie's window, not allowing the glass to raise itself up. Jessie turned to see the face of the gypsy woman. She had a strange smile on her face and her teeth gleamed in the moonlight. Jessie pushed the accelerator harder. The needle showed 90 kilometers an hour. The gypsy woman was still running with her. Where you headed to? She kept repeating. What terrified Jessie even more was the fact that the gypsy woman showed no signs of strain or exertion. She kept the smile and her tone the same. 100 kilometers an hour. Where you headed to? 110 kilometers an hour, the same smile, the same tone. Where you headed to? 120 kilometers an hour. She had not even broken a sweat. She just kept running like she was walking in a park. Nice and easy. Jessie drove faster and faster, and the gypsy woman kept pace. Now her smile had turned into a strange kind of laughter. Her eyes bluer than the moon, and her teeth whiter than the moonlight. Jessie saw the tree too late. It appeared out of the darkness and came towards her before Jessie could even hit the brakes. Jessie's world went dark. It was the hour before dawn. The gypsy woman brought Jessie's dead body to the gas station. The old man at the gas station smiled at the woman. You have done well to bring me a new body. You are now free to disappear into the land of the dead. This one will now do on the next full moon what you did today. As the gypsy woman glided into the dark forest, the old man looked down at the dead Jessie and smiled. Then he bent down and placed a gentle kiss on her pale lips.